It's not easy to let the past stay in the past. The chapter certainly made sure that's the case. Thankfully for that, because this shows how detailed Ishida inserted with these characters that can also challenge us when dealing with a similar predicament. This may not be an eventful chapter, but I thought this was a sincere chapter that reminded us on why we continue to follow this series. From start to finish, it's all about the discomforting feeling of living in the same area as each of them has their own problems among each other. It is moments like this makes me appreciate the realistic take of their perspective. It's more appealing with each of the character has their own opinion and reason to feel uneasy. It explores a good amount of dilemma, then you can see why they are all different while remain in character. Akira and Kaneki reunited is an uneasy moment because not long ago, we know how well they connected like mother and son. At first I thought we were going in for an amnesia subplot, which is a bit tiring writing in my opinion, but instead it becomes apparent that Akira truly feels bitter about Kaneki. I've given credits to Hirako to get the news out of the way, since it could potentially do much worse damage down the road if she learns it later on. Still, watching Akira not able to properly reunite with Kaneki is a bit sad. I'm reminded that Kaneki has to go with the story of Arima Slayer, which is not even true. But because of Arima's last will, Kaneki must continue to live as that. I don't know if he will ever tell the truth in the future. I can't say that's a plot impending, but it could be a good one. That all said, I can only hope Akira and Kaneki get back together like a family, which also reminds me that he also saw Arima as a father. It's more unsettling than I thought. Hinami takes the cake when it comes to a distressing side of emotion. I recall of her being okay to help Akira for Kaneki's sake, but the problem lies within her own opinion. We finally received it, and it's really hard to argue the notion. Gripping her hand tightly is a strong sign of frustration. Honestly, I would prefer for her to be more thoughtful about meeting the daughter of her parents' killer, so I was really pleased to see her reacting in a more realistic tone. It's about moving forward and what the past is preventing. Her memory is what stops her to make any move. If she moves on and somehow makes friends with Akira, that's practically betraying her family. It's not Akira's fault. It's just the familiar sense that aches her enough to not to move on. It's no wonder she called Ayato to come to see her. That feeling really pains her. Speaking of Ayato, it appears that he takes the advice of taking care of her from Toka seriously, and that's good. The one thing he didn't do beforehand is approaching to her for comforting, so this is a step in the right direction. Yes, I do get the pairing vibe, and I do think this is Ishida's direction. I approve this. I look forward to more of it. Thumbs up! Speaking of pairing, there's a secretive pairing talk in the next segment, though not towards to each other, but to their own respective interests. I am torn on which part is my favorite, but I would lean towards to Amon and Toka's conversation. This is one aspect that next to Kaneki and Amon, which we didn't get, but that's okay because of this chapter, I waited for a long time. Though it's tied with Akira and Toka. The whole moment is heartwarming. I like how they go through with everything that concerns between them. Toka knows she can't get away from being addressed as model killer. Almon is more mindful of his surroundings, so he didn't take it on her, but rather with the world that brought them to it. It's similar to Kaneki, which you can see why they click easily. The whole scene between them feels so genuine and swell. They are not there to fight, but to stop their inner struggle to face the past with the present waiting to be filled. Toka pretty much showed why she may remain #1 in the future popularity poll with her wise thought on the whole situation. When she gets serious, she's really matured and you feel like you can completely back her up. Toka asks Amon the question if he wants to see Akira, because the one thing that challenges anyone is the uneasy mind going against what your heart says, which subtly addressed here. Toka feels that she is similar to Akira, which is why she tells him to go to her. How would one know another's reaction if they don't go in the first place? That's why Toka won that poll. The atmosphere focuses on the emotional level of discomfort. Plenty of panels give you the right set of tone of this respective feelings. Hinami doesn't show her face, but you can sense her sorrow from her words and motion. Toka and Almond is more on the lighter side that gives you hope for the better path. Toka's smile always leaves that swell feeling. Kaneki, you better not miss this chance. Their dialogues consist struggling to comprehend, but perhaps trying to look at the positive. The talk about meeting Akira has that pairing reference due to how Toka feels about Kaneki, without bluntly saying. Akira does love Almond, so if you put two together, you get the hint that it's a pairing talk, but done in a pleasant way. In the end scene with Almond telling her how nice she is touching. Almond didn't need to know that before blaming on the world, so this came off significant. The ending is rather funny, but that laughing matter is going to convert to darkness. It's another promotional event, and Uri actually got one as S2 squad leader. Imagine that. He finally got what he wished for, right? The explanation behind it is reasonable, at least in terms of politics. Curious on his reaction. Uri is now Bureau Chief Advisor. Not sure this will be that pleasing due to the current condition. Suzuya and Tanakamaru are respectively S3 and S1 squad leader. What made the ending funny is Furata being promoted to Bureau Chief of the CCG. He has the nerve to wear a fake disguise with party written. That "I am a Bureau Chief" sign got me laughing, I have to admit. Even though he is a master troll, his appearance really got me laughing a lot. Uri has to be thinking, crap, what have I done? That said, you know this could only go downhill. It is now that he takes the name of Washu. It occurs to me that maybe, just maybe, he's going to corrupt CCG to the point that they'll be no longer around. I don't know, but I sense bad news. Perhaps it is considered as an eventful chapter, though not through actions, but through drama. It's an emotional chapter that won't make you cry, but make you hope for the best. The past can't be forgotten, but the present can set a new course, for better or worse. I'm giving this chapter a 9. Yes, I am disappointed that we didn't get to see Kaneki and Almond to have a conversation. Then again, it could be done in a flashback, or it could be done in the next chapter. We have to wait and see. Other than that, I really enjoyed this chapter a lot. I really like when it comes to more depth of the characters. I really like how they go through the scenarios that really have this inner struggle that doesn't have to deal with power and actions. This what makes it so compelling. Now that we see many people are going to a different course, it only occurs to me that I believe Psycho may end up being the Q squad leader now, which is fitting for her after that tremendous display. What are your thoughts of this chapter? What do you think is Furuta's attention being the bureau chief of the CCG? I still don't understand his agenda. Even though he's making me laugh a lot, it's still weird what his move exactly. Yes, I know he wants super peace, but I still don't know what exactly he's trying to do when he's corrupting CCG at the same time. I guess that's what happens when you're a clown. You're unpredictable as hell. And that will do it for today's review. I hope you enjoyed this one. If you like this and want more of this, subscribe to my channel and my world will be yours to stay. Until next time, take care.